Melody, I love your tip application. It looks good. Just if you're gonna do this more like I'm looking at your picture. If you want a more coffin, make sure the line from the free edge straight out. Okay, just make sure straight edge. And to get the straight edge, you just have to push. If you working on this side, filing, press this tip down, and so you have a sturdy, straight line tip. Same thing if you're gonna shape on this side, make sure you hold the tip on this side. Remember, you don't have any product on, so your tip is wobbly, and when your tip is wobbly, the line doesn't get straight. Okay? And the tip, when you shape the tip, always go slightly, a little bit more taper. So then when you do the application, remember product will expand out the shape. So go in slightly more, just slightly, not much. Just slightly taper it in, especially with stiletto or coffin. You want to bring it in slightly more taper. So when you apply the product, the shape doesn't get any wider than you want it to. Okay. Let's move on, okay? Because I don't want to waste your time.
But ask if anyone else wants to show.
Oh. Anybody ready to show me? Because we have to move on, guys. Okay. Yeah. Cho coi gần nữa chút xíu được không? Chị Lan bỏ gần vô chút xíu. Nice.
That was good.
Yeah. Good. Đi ngang, để ngang cho em, để ngang. Oh. Giỏi quá. Yeah. Miễn là cái tip đừng có vặn lên được rồi. Tại cái shape coffin với stiletto nó phải dặn xuống chút xíu để cho nó có cái độ thẳng á. So yeah, chị làm cũng đẹp đẹp rồi đó, em thấy hài lòng rồi đó.
Cảm ơn cô giáo nhiều, cô giáo chỉ đó. Cô giáo.
Okay, Katina, you ready?
Can you unmute yourself, Katina? It's okay.
Okay, so I took my little practice finger. I have one nail.
Oh, okay.
I put a base nail on my little finger, and then I took the base nail.
Okay. So from that nail, it's hard to see the straight line because you know how it go downwards. But when you practice on yourself, take your nail off. If you could, when you practice on yourself, when you apply the tip, take a picture of your tip application first and send it to me. Okay. So I can give you better critique of it. And then once you take all just the tip application and then stop and do the pictures and do your acrylic application, then stop, take the picture before you shape. So each process, just stop and take pictures. The top view, the side view of each process. And then send it to me, then I'll help you each step the way. Let me give you my feedback so then you know you're doing the right thing or not. Or where your mistakes at, I see it, I will let you know so you can fix it. Okay? All right. But so far it doesn't look that bad. But I think it's better for you to work on the natural finger so I can see it better.
Janet.
Okay. Janet, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Probably go a little bit further, like slightly a little bit further.
You get to focus.
Oh, you put the acrylic on too?
Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, it looks good. It looks really good. I could tell you have acrylic, but you can see the little slope a little bit, but you have a little apex right there. I think you're good. Oh, wow. Very nice. Yeah, just a little bit right there, then that's good. But
Wow.
I'm very happy with it. Thank you. Anybody else? China?
I need to send pictures. I have nails I try to do the tip one.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, send me the picture, China. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, let's move on. So then this is the exciting part. Okay, so I already put the stiletto on as well because I'm gonna do the demo of all the shape at once so that you can see it. Okay, so once you adhere the tip, once you happy all everything lined up, all you do is blending this part right here. You guys have to blend this side. You don't have to blend so much in the middle, but the sides here you have to because your nail thickness is 1.5 millimeter. And if you leave the tip right there, that is almost half, like 0.5. So you don't have much room to put acrylic on. And if you don't have enough acrylic right there, that's where the weakness gonna be. So what I want you to do is take the sanding band, blending that out because you just thin it down a little bit. That's it. I just want you to do that and use it as like you were prepping the nail. Just take that a little bit and sand everything out. But do this after you straighten your shape. You do this last because if you do this too soon, this one get really weak, and when you try to shape the tip, you're gonna remove everything you have done. So shape the tip, then do this last before you do the application. Okay. Lúc mà mình gắn tip xong á, mình dũa cho nó đều, nó thẳng mà cái shape nó theo mình muốn rồi đó. Bắt đầu mình phải dũa hai bên hông này cho nó mỏng lại. Tại nếu mà mình không có dũa mỏng á, hai cái bên hông này sẽ nó dày ra. Rồi tí nữa mình dũa cho nó ôm lại á, mình sẽ dũa mỏng cái bột nó xuống thì nó sẽ gãy, nó dễ bị gãy lắm. Đâm ra mình lúc nào cũng phải dũa hai bên hông này mỏng lại chút xíu cho nó thành giống như cái móng luôn á, nhìn nó giống như cái móng vậy đó. Mà lúc mà làm tip đó chị Lan, chị phải dũa cái móng á, nó nhỏ hơn chút xíu. Biết tại sao? Tại mình đắp bột nó sẽ dày ra, nên cái tip của mình lúc nào cũng phải thon vô chút xíu nha. Thì lúc mà mình làm cái bột đó, nó vừa theo cái ý mình muốn. Okay, so I'm just prep the side because I already shaped the tip. I have everything shaped and lined up. So now I'm just going to prep the tip. Like I said, mainly on the sides right here. The middle, I don't need so much because the apex going to be the stress area, the upper arch is the thickest in the middle, and it will cover the nail. I'm just worried about the side as it. So I'm going to do this application on this shape, and you can see how you do it so you keep everything in the same shape. When you do this, don't skip out any step because, like I said, each step supporting the next one. So make sure you have everything straight. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more on this side as it. So then it's not, do it lightly. Okay, so now I'm done. I'm gonna save this one for square later on the pinky, but let me do this first. So now you can move on to your dehydrator and primer. Let me see, I have anything right here I could use. Okay, I just have primer from OPI. I'm just gonna use their nail prep. That's it. But once you do this, you don't touch the nail anymore, okay? Because once you do this, you already dehydrating it and you put primer. Your natural nail should not touch the nail plate, okay, guys? All right. So let me go on to application. Okay. Let me do one nude. I'm going to do ombre as well. So you can see how I do ombre with long nails too, okay? But let me do one color on this nail right here so you can see. Okay. All right, you guys look at it. So you already know the application, right? So let's do this. So for this length, it's not as long, but it's not as long as the other one. Now, I have to decide, do I want to divide it into 3 or do I divide into 2? Let me do 3 first, so then the next one I can show you the 2, okay? Let me see let me say that I want to do into 3. Then my bead has to be smaller now. I can't go too big. So I'm just going to go medium length, medium bead, and go to a third of the nail. I just pull that everything down, clean my brush, tap my brush away, and then look at the angle of my brush, right? I just pulling that down. That's it. And now I'm just gonna pull that up. And if you're pulling it out and you have extra product, don't worry about it. Keep pulling it, keep pulling it. But you don't want to pull it too much because you don't want to take all the powder away. And then this is how you do it. Keep your brush a little bit clean and press it on the side. And take the bottom, take the tip of the brush and cutting that. And that's it. So now take the brush, pull everything nice into shape. You see how I keep everything into the shape as well? I'm doing slowly and building up slowly. But you see how I keep this, if I keep this straight, that means later I don't want to do too much of shaping later on. Yeah? You see how I apply everything and make sure everything stay in that shape. Yeah? Okay, now I'm going to take another bead.
If you have any questions.
Okay, just watch and then I'll show you. So now here, I'm taking another bead. And now my job is to blend that in. So I'm going to take the tip of the brush, feather that up a little bit, but at the same time, just blending that out. And I'm just using the tip of the brush. You see, I'm just gliding that down. And look at the side, the angle of my brush. I'm keeping it flat still. Clean my brush, bring everything down. Blend it. Once you clean your brush have monomer and your brush is clean, it's so easy to do the blending. And keep everything on the side. You see how I press everything on the side? You have that ledge right there. And all you do is blending that out again. Keep everything to the side and blending that out. And that's how you keep your nail in the shape that you want. Take that side, just give a little bit push and blend that in. You see how I keep everything in shape? I keep doing it until I'm satisfied with the way the nail should look. You see it's still wet, so then I can play with it. You see that? You see how it blend in? It's not bumpy. And that's how you control your bead. I still have certain area. I know it's not enough. Don't worry about it because you can keep on. If you want to fix it, that's fine. But I'd rather just move on and overall I can fix that later. Okay? So now let me work on the cuticle area and you have to. Okay, take that bead, cuticle area. I'm gonna place it close as much as I can. Clean my brush, tilt the nail about 45-degree angle. This is how you shape the cuticle. And from here, I'm not gonna pull everything down. I'm pull everything right here down. And that's how you build your apex right there. You pull from here down. Here, down. So everything more blended, right? And now you look at this bead, this surface, you go and you see the apex is there, right? And then I need a little bit more right there. Then all I do is take another small bead and place it right here where I need it. Okay? Blend that bead up a little bit just so I could blend the product together. Okay? And slowly pulling down. Pull that down. Pull that. Now I'm using the body of the brush and blend everything. So you can use multiple beads just as long you work it seamlessly and blend everything at once. So then you can have everything in nice shape. It's not perfect, but you know you can perfect that with the shaping. But at least in general, you want it almost like 90% of the shaping done with acrylic brush. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions? Okay, for the length of this nail, look at it. You see the apex is there? It's gradually going down, and it gradually going down this side. So the thickness is still right here, right? And let's just say if right there. Later, when I shape it, I'm going to make, because this one, I feel like I can do another small bead, but I'm going to stop right there because the length of the nail and the structure of the nail, I'm happy with it. Because this one, I could just file a little lightly and make it all blend in, then it's fine. Then look at the side view. Make sure all the side view you have enough product, because I know sometimes little corner right here, you don't have enough of that right there. Then what you do is just take a little bit of it and just squeeze it, place it on the corner, and just swipe that down. This is when you can pull that down. Okay? Any questions so far? So you see, once you know the apex where you want it to be, your application be a lot easier and it help you with the next step. Is that right? Thumb up if you good, agreed. Okay. Let me add a little bit more powder.
Yeah. So they already know that we already practiced doing acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's practicing taking.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, guys. I get it.
Practice taking what we learned in the first half, which is acrylic application, right? Beads, and then putting that together with a tip application, and each step of the way building off of each other. And in the end, that should save you time, because if you, not that you have to do it right the first time, but when you are more intentional about the tools that you have, the products that you're using, how you're using it, you most likely won't have to spend so much time trying to bandage it up, do the patchwork for it. And that's really, I think that's the key to doing this.
Okay. So this one is longer, and I want to build the nail more like an ombre. Ombre technique is very similar to what I've been showing you guys. See how this side, I pull it in. This side, I pull it in. Okay? And from here, I'm going to spread out the tip of the nail. For ombre, always go about 70% of the nail. From that point on, build it and pull it and blend it down. You want this point for ombre to be thin.
shouldn't be a stark white.
This is a soft white. This is a soft. Ombre is better to use a soft white. Always better to use a soft white.
Do you sell the powder for that too?
I'm sorry?
Do you have the powder, the soft white powder?
No, I don't. But what I'm using right now, I'm actually mixing my own. If you have the brand of any brand and you're using the white and the clear, all you do mix 40% clear and 60% white, and you get your perfect soft white.
Wow, that is a nail hack for you. That is a nail hack for nail techs. What is it again?
40% clear and 60% white.
Okay.
Or 50-50 if you want. You don't want as white. So it's all depend on how white you want it to be. You could do 50-50 or 60-40.
60-40. So 60% white, 40% clear to make a soft white.
Mm-hmm.
Katina said, one issue I have is shadow areas on the side of the nail and near the cuticle. I try to fix it with applying more acrylic, then I bulk in those areas. How would you fix the shadow areas on the nail?
Shadow on a nail because
shadow areas.
Yeah, because you don't have enough powder, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes you build it too thick and then you shape it off. Am I right?
Yeah, Katina.
Sorry. Yeah. So what I've noticed, Anne, is when I'm doing like my nails, specifically, yes, my nails, I'll have like these little shadow areas on each side of the nail, especially near like the stress area. And then I find myself applying more acrylic, trying to like balance it out with the rest of the nail. But then I'll have like bulky sides. My sides will be bulky, and then it'll be like a shadow area in every cuticle. Then I have to go in and apply more acrylic, and then it gets bulky there.
When you do the tipping, that's why I said blend the tip on the sides as well as you can. You almost want to blend it where the natural nail plate and your tip is almost in the same layer. Because the more tip you're going to leave up there, that means you're taking up the space that you need for powder. So then later when you apply the powder, it's thicker than it is. And then when you try to blend it smoothly and straight out, you're taking away the powder. Am I right? So that's why blend the tip. Blend the tips. You have to blend the tip, the free edge of the tip. The connection on the side, blend it out evenly. Okay?
Right, so I also understand that this happens with like forms too for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not applying enough product in those areas. Like
I think you apply enough, but you take it away because the way you shape it. And I'm gonna show you. Okay, so now let me say the ombre is good. So you can see the side view of the ombre. Let me see. This layer is very important, okay? Because you apply thin here, you have plenty of room to blend that nude color or the soft pink, whatever you want. But the blending here has to be soft, has to be thin. Okay? So that's how you do it. And by thinning that area, it's just by laying the brush like this. You see my angle, my brush? I'm not going like this either. I'm going like this. So I'm slightly pulling out. And you notice my surface smooth. Set yourself smoothly with this so then your ombre can come out even better. This one, bumpy, your ombre not going to be good. So really practice the smoothness of the application before you do the ombre technique. Okay, so ombre, use another medium side. I don't use one bead down because it's harder. I'm just going to take a small bead and start with this first because this way I make sure the ombre look good before I do the cuticle area. So I put it on and then clean my brush. I lay it down. And from here, I just swipe it down. And you see the ombre is almost there already, right? It's just the way you lay down the product and how smooth you pull it down. Because this part, I'm not building my apex yet, so I'm not worried about that yet. That's why I divide my ombre into 2 beads. Once I lay the soft white down, the nude pink or the pink, I'm going to separate out into 2 beads. So it's easier for me to do the ombre. Okay. And then the next bead, I'm going to build the cuticle and my apex. Tilt the nail down. And Katina, maybe your cuticle bead is too wet.
Do you want them to practice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna make them practice on it. But you can see it's there, and if I see a little shadow there that I know I don't have enough, then put a little bead here and just blend that out. That looks good? Okay. I don't have, and this part, it's okay, because that's where the clear powder come in and give you a flush, even application. Because you want to protect this ombre part with the clear powder as well. Okay, so now let me put a little bead right here for apex. Because right now you could tell the nail, I don't have enough arch up here. Because this nail is such a long length, and this is not enough to support it. You see it? So now I'm going to take a small bead and place it right at the center, right there. And do that. You see the apex is better, but now from this part, let me see, give me a second. Let me get my clear. I don't have my clear, let me get my clear. This part of ombre, I always suggest you do it with clear, so you protect it. So when you shape the nail, then you can still keep your ombre. So from here, just pull the nail product, the clear down, and then go back to the clean brush, and then just pull everything down. Yeah, so you can see now everything is set up pretty good, and then you just shape the nail. But you can see the cuticle is not as thick. This part is where it should be. Okay. Let me show you another color. If you work on a color nail, make sure that you apply clear here. If you work on a bright color, make sure you give clear here, just so then when you use color powder, the powder doesn't have enough, because the powder mix a lot of clear powder and pigment to it, so it's not 100% powder. So the powder doesn't stay as strong as white, clear, or soft pink. So always do a little clear right there. And I'm gonna take this bead and put it right here to do a little ombre as well. Don't rush your process. Make sure, just drag your bead down. Stay within the shape. And this part right here, you want it more like stiletto, you want it more clean. Take the body of the brush and just clean it. Just like that. So it get to the shape that you want. And then blend it that in. Contour that side. Contour that side. Now I'm very light because the shape, the powder is almost where to where I want it, but I just want to smooth it out. So I don't want to move the product. So what I do is lay my brush down almost parallel and just lightly feather that down. That way you don't move your product away. Almost clean the bottom. But you can see that that's how you keep everything in shape. Okay? Always constantly blending the side, okay? Pull everything in the center and clean the side, especially you doing this shape. Always clean the side and make sure everything is lined up. Okay, and now, let me see. Should I do another color? Let me do the yellow. If you do color on color, work on it slowly. Don't rush. Put another bead right here. Pour everything in the center. Blending that tip down. Put that down. Use the brush, clean your brush while still wet. Just slightly tap it down. You see how it gives you a really beautiful ombre, right? It's all about the application, guys. Practice on your application. And this bead, I'm going to go smaller. Now I'm going to go the cuticle. Use the tip of the brush, push that cuticle up a little bit and tilt the nail down. And make sure you have everything on the side as well. Clean, clean, and then now blend. When the cuticle is not set yet, make sure you take the brush and the tip of the brush. Make sure you clean the brush, clean the cuticle area, because when it's still wet, it's easier to give a nice contour look. Once it's dry, you can't really do it, right? You want it almost as thin as possible because with the color that you're doing, I always want to keep it as almost as almost thin, and then I can cover that with the clear. So when I shape it, nothing is losing the shape or the color. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now I notice I have a little bit more under here. And all I do, take a little bit bead. And blend that out. Isn't it beautiful? I love color ombre. So nice.
Yes. That's pretty much it. In fact, that is very, very beautiful.
And now, so now look, I know the shape is not there yet. And that's why I said work as thin as possible, but make sure you get the ombre the way you want it. And then use the clear on top of it. So when you shape, your ombre gonna stay good. And you don't file away the powder. Chị Lan, chị có hiểu em làm không? Hả? Thấy cái cách hả?
Nhìn cô giáo làm đẹp quá trời luôn.
Janet, are you good?
Well, I was going to ask a question. I like that one, but what if you just, don't have another color to put up there for just like the cover pink? Can you still use it on top of the yellow? Or maybe, yeah.
Oh yeah, the cover pink.
On top of the orange or the red, yeah.
Yeah, color ombre is just whatever you feel like it. I mean, I just do this two color, but I want to show you the brush stroke with the color. I feel like you can see the brush stroke and you could see how the product lay down. But there's no right or wrong. Make sure the two color really blend out together. How about Melody and Tom's skin? Are you guys good? Give me a thumb up if you guys get it.
China asked, after you clean brush, do you need to always dip brush into monomer every time?
Yes, because you clean your brush, then it's clean and it's dry. You always tap a little bit your brush into monomer to keep it moist, and that's how you blend the powder a lot easier. Not wet, but just kind of moisten your brush a little bit. Okay, hold on. I want to show you now, since I'm doing a lot of color and the liquid is contaminated. You see the color is not nice anymore. Anytime if I want to go back to clear powder, I have to discard this. Don't use this. Cái màu này nó dơ rồi đó. Trước khi mình bỏ clear, muốn xài clear đó, phải dục cái nước này đi. Lấy cái monomer mới, bắt đầu mới dùng clear powder. So your clear can stay clear. Okay? So when I do ombre every time I use color acrylic in the salon, I almost have I do all the color first. I discard all the liquid, then I do the clear, everything at once. Or you can have two dapping dish, if that's easier for you. But when you use color, you notice the color get contaminated. It's just natural because you keep dipping it back and forth to clean your brush. Okay? So don't use it. I'm going to discard this before I put the clear. Okay. You guys can go ahead practice. I'm going to give you guys some time to do the application. Then I'm going to go on with the shaping after this. Okay, chị Lan, chị tập đi cho em được không? Tập 2-3 ngón cũng được. Để cho em coi em mới bắt đầu chỉ cách dũa luôn ha. When you guys doing the ombre, if you want to do like the whole hand with one color first, it's actually best too. Because with the ombre, you almost want your first layer to kind of set a little bit before you apply the second on. Because sometimes when the first color is not dry yet, when you do the ombre, you can pull that powder away. So it's almost better to do all one color first and go back to the first finger and apply the second color. Pauline, does that make sense?